Many people think gameplay is the most important part of a game, and yeah, that's true, but gameplay doesn't just exist in a vacuum. From Sonic's fast-paced levels, to Super Mario Galaxy's gravity-bending maps, to classic CoD zombies, maps shape how gameplay actually feels. And in my last devlog about my first-person food shooting round-based game, I focused almost entirely on gameplay. So today, we're gonna look at the other half of the game, the maps, the space you play in. Because if the maps don't work, nothing else does. So, before we start, if you were one of the 7,000 people who watched the last video, you probably remember this. Then in like a week or two, I'll pick 5 of them at random and then build a game around those. To make a long story short, I'm pushing that to the side. I thought I'd make a small game as a break from TerrorFried, but in reality, I just needed a small breather from TerrorFried and not work on some project that got way out of hand. So that's why there's no cars in the thumbnail. Coming back after about a month gave me some perspective. The project had been all over the place, a bunch of spontaneous decisions. And if I actually want this game out by late 2026, early 2027, yeah, I can't just go about doing whatever I want to work on. So I did what I thought was the obvious solution. Now, this might be a bit hard to comprehend, but just stick with me. I wanted progress, fast. So I made a list. Here we have new map, mid-wave objectives, perks, and then food weapons. This was the list, the plan, the roadmap I told myself I'd finally stick to, instead of just doing whatever felt fun to work on. But if you notice the title of the video, or you watched the intro, yeah, perks and food weapons are getting cut. For me to focus on in the next video. I almost got you. I want this video out sometime soon, and as important as maps are, the base of the game needs to feel good before I start stacking things like food weapons and perks on top of it. Because here's the thing, I thought the solution was better planning. It wasn't. But enough of me yapping, let's actually do some development. Basically, I want to do a big snow map with big fir trees, taking inspiration from the Black Forest in Valheim, mainly. Even though you can't really see that, but I get the idea from there. I tried planning the layout more this time, like the unlockable area here with the gorilla gun, and instead of just having to get 2 pieces of metal to get a sunken ship out of the water, I add a moving cart to get to the unlockable area. Basically TF2 payload. I think it will add tension and make unlocking the area up here more interesting, since you both have to think about killing enemies but also staying close to the cart, because it only moves if you're close to it. I also added mid-wave objectives. Defend a tomato, deliver 3 pieces of food, carry around this angry fucking pot of soup. Basically mix up the gameplay a bit, so you're not just going around killing enemies all the time. And this is where everything should have come together. A new map, new mechanics, and actual mid-wave objectives. I think people are really going to love this. But when I sent it out to my Discord server for playtesting, in practice, the map is way too open, the objectives are blocking paths, progression feels downright bad, the actual map feels empty and has no soul, which makes the gameplay worse instead of better, and the game keeps breaking into these awkward 1v1 fights between me and the enemies, even though it's a damn horde shooter. It just wasn't fun. Now, after taking such a massive step back, I start looking at it from a different angle. Not, how do I make this map better? I've basically already given up on the map. In my eyes, there's no real reason to try and save it. And honestly, the way I build it, with these rocks and random shit sticking out everywhere, yeah, not exactly easy to fix. So instead, I go the other way and start looking at the gameplay. And once I do that, I start to realize there is a bunch of small things. None of these things are huge on their own, but add all of them together, they make the game feel way worse than it actually is. So I stopped adding features and started fixing, well, features. First up, fairness. If the player takes damage, they should know why and how. If they mess up, it should feel like their fault and not the game's. In TerrorFried, well, some enemy hitboxes are questionable. Some enemies don't even have hitboxes, no wonder hitting them feels almost impossible. You also need a way to fight back quickly. Now, pressing F swings a spoon, but it's modular, so I can swap it out for a fish, a piece of bread, fuck it, me. Then the hit indicators. You need to know where you're getting hit from, otherwise how will blind people play my game? And suddenly the game feels way more fair. Next I tackle combat flow. The enemy waves used to be all over the place, and not in a good way, especially the tomato rounds. They come every 5th wave, but they don't scale. Now, tomatoes have tiers to them and scale. Next, enemy spawning. Basically just tune the enemies up while toning down their health. So the main threat is in the numbers of the enemies and not how many bullets one takes to kill. Especially not with this new enemy, the meatballs. 3 stacked on top of each other, coming in after the hot dogs but before the flying burgers. So it smooths out the wave progression perfectly. Very cool. Finally, clarity and rewards. Recoil gets a real treatment. Side by side, it's night and day. The point system gets a complete rebalance too. So now you get less points for each enemy, the guns cost less, and the doors cost a bit more. So you're more intrigued to actually buy the weapons and not go through the map as fast. Small changes, hitboxes, melee, hit indicators, waves, recoil points, alone tiny tweaks. But together, the game is way closer to what it sets out to be. But none of this change matters if we just test it out on the shitty map. Do you know what that means? Right away it's just different, not because it looks better, but because it just feels better. It also does look better, but that's beside the point. You spawn in and instantly you see glimpses of the other parts of the map. You know where you want to go. The spiky islands, the big construction site thing, and finally a huge fucking temple. And here's the thing, when I started working on this map, I didn't have a full layout. I didn't have a cool concept document. I didn't even have room ideas. All I had was a list. Some really basic rules. Stuff like the unlockable area has to feel different visually, thematically, and layout wise. And that's where the gorilla gun needs to be. The rooms should also come in small groups. 1 to 3 rooms share an under theme, I call it. Like the 3 or so rooms with the spikes. Then the starting area, which is just a boring island. And then the construction site. The whole theme of the map might be beach or islands, but then these smaller parts of the map have their own theme inside of the bigger theme. And the idea of a beach map with a big volcano, that's all I went in with. Everything else on the fly. Most of it wasn't planned ahead like this, it just turned out this way. I just wanted to see if this method actually worked. Somehow, it did. Different areas encourage different playstyles to some degree. The open areas let you run around the enemies, the plank jumps are high risk, high reward, and tighter rooms force you to really commit. You know, you're never really overwhelmed because the map is weird. If you die, it's probably because you messed something up, which after adding all those changes before, yeah, this was the outcome I was hoping for. This map only works because the last one failed. This isn't me saying that every future map is gonna be a masterpiece, far from it. I just realized that I don't work well with zero planning, but I also don't work well when everything is planned to death. Having a few strong rules and letting the rest happen naturally is where this game finally clicked for me. So yeah, overall, big changes. A bunch of small fixes that add up to something way bigger. 2 new maps, one of them sucked. The other, the beach map, I'm genuinely proud of. Yeah, it's a big circle, but it works. It feels good to play, it's fun. And more importantly, it taught me what I need to do next time. This actually feels like the first time the game has a foundation, instead of just being a prototype with ideas stuck to it. And again, this doesn't mean every future map or feature or anything for that matter is gonna be perfect. But now I actually know when complexity and planning make sense and when it just makes things worse. Oh, and just one last thing. Turns out the name TerrorFried is already copyrighted. Woohoo! So yeah, I'm gonna have to find a new name before I put it on Steam. If you got any name ideas, drop them in the comments. Seriously, we suck at naming shit in my Discord server. And if you want to help me turn this into an actual game, instead of just another shitty project, check the description and see if there is a Steampage yet. If there is, please go and wishlist it. And I have no clue what the game is gonna be named, but hopefully it's something good. And not fucking cook and shoot or something, I don't know. Yeah, like and subscribe, all that shit, yeah.